Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network. We got a little bit of a mixed market here on the opening right now for crypto. A little bit of green, a little bit of red. On the daily, though, mostly red. A little bit of a pullback right to one of our key levels that we've talked about here on the show for a couple of weeks. Move my big head, move my big Charlie Brown head. You'll see it there, guys. We came back down, and we're now retesting the bottom of our golden pocket. Are we heading back down to the platinum pocket again? What's going to happen? We'll break that down. We're also going to take a look at where am I putting my money at. And as you saw in the thumbnail, Nvidia and Bitcoin. That's what I'm focused on right now until we see a change of bullish structure on the price ranges of crypto in general, right? Which would mean Bitcoin first. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to chase the fast winners that are here and there. They bounce too much. There's not enough happening across the board. So I'm just going to focus on Bitcoin and Nvidia. That's my plan. Of course, the Piper Plan DCA is in full effect over on the Discord, and I'll just use that for the Bitcoin. And for NVIDIA, I'll just do a weekly DCA. A lot of news on NVIDIA today. We're going to talk about that. And then also, if you guys don't know, you hear everyone always say, diamond hands. Whales are going to buy your crypto. I got news for you. $33 billion in whale account sell-off in the past 30 days. I don't know what hopium they're smoking over there, but we're going to break that down for you too. That and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, get your notebooks out. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Appreciate y'all being here. Of course, all episodes here on the Piper Academy Network brought to you by Chart Prime. We appreciate them being a proud sponsor of the channel and wouldn't use any other indicator whether they were a sponsor or not. It was the loyalty that brought them to us, not because of anything else. So appreciate them being here. But you know who I'm really appreciative of being here? The man, the myth, the legend. OC guy, what's up, bro? How was your weekend? How's everything going? How you feeling about the sell-off? You popped in this morning and you looked at the chart for the first time of the day and you went, "Ooh, sell-off! Oh, right down to our level." Thoughts on the markets, man?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were talking about that level. In fact, we have it on support and resistance. And oh, sorry, I think we put our money where my mouth is, right? So
Don't choke on your dollars, man. By the way, it's OG Monday. If you guys don't know, got the OG coffee mug, OG shirt. Shout out to Alex O Crypto. They're supposed to be joining us over here. They're not here yet. The OGs are late, but the alumni are here. Anyway, go on. Please carry on, my Mexican wayward son.
So we were talking about this possible area. Remember yesterday, Friday, we talked about a possible double bottom on these zones. Especially, we're going to be taking a look back at this 30-minute zone. And I do know what hopium the whales are smoking, because I might have something a little bit of the same hopium there. We're having a huge range or a huge channel, and we are getting very, very close to that channel end. And if we drop down directly, it will be somewhere around 106 as in maximum point, or 100K if we range for a little bit more. In the meantime, I think we're getting that double bottom that I was talking about for the 4 hours, and I think we might still have just a little bit more downside before we go back up. And I do believe that we're gonna have a bullish December. We'll see how that goes.
Well, let's go give a shout out to the chat, and then we'll come back and take a look at your Bitcoin. Alexander G, never failing to pick up where I left off with the songs. There'll be peace when you are done. There you go. Carry on, my wayward son. Shout out to, of course, Jesse Gullick in here. I'll say good morning to everybody when I get home. Good morning to you. You just said it. Alexander G dropping in some lyrics there. We appreciate that. JR, he's been crushing it. 87% accuracy rate on his trades in our Discord, man. Fire. Appreciate you, bro. Robert Mulligan is in the house with us. Lunar Beaches. He said, "I'm working and lurking. At least you ain't twerking." What's up, LBC? How you doing today, man? Massey 33, 2 dub. She said the OGs can be late because they are the OGs. Facts. That is a true story. Appreciate you being here. 2Dub, Wix Wi-Fi 89. Melissa's in the house with us also right now. Little Fish is in here. 8 Breath with the tinfoil OC. I love it. Tinfoil hat OC. TFH OC in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Eric Ballin Wallen. But what about the Composite Man? Well, you see, the Composite Man. The Composite Man is a lore, a mythology, a theory, if you will, in the scientific world of a person that can is a group of entities or a very rich well entity that they say we're going to sink markets so that we can buy cheaper. However, Composite Man doesn't solely focus on crypto. He will do this across the entire market and wreck everyone and then buy everything cheaper. And so the theory of Composite Man and thinking that Composite Man is solely focused on the small little $3 trillion Bitcoin and crypto market is an insult to the intellect of the Composite Man, in my opinion. So when I hear someone say that, I throw up in my mouth a little bit, and then I go and write on the chalkboard, I will not call other content creators effing morons 100 times, and then I feel better. So yes, there you go. Composite Man theory, Eric Wallen, just for you, bro. Crypto Coin Mindset, we're going to be redirecting to them today with T.I. Joe and Keith over there. Appreciate you being here, bro. Always in the house. Little Fish, JR, I think I've got everyone in here. Average Crypto Joe, he said, I'm worried the bull run is over. Am I right? I'm about 60% right now. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm about 60% sure that the bull market is done. I'm not buying any alts. Let's just put it that way. And I put that in the DCA this morning for the DCA Piper plan. Said, yeah, not buying any alts. No interest in alts at all. Matter of fact, I showed you guys on Friday that if you are going to buy alts, if it drops 10%, take 90% of your cash and save it and just sell it until you get where there's no more 10% retracements, because just losing 10% all the way down and then having all of that 90% from each of those saved closeouts all at once, and then it doesn't do it anymore. So it's like I have 90, I have 100%. I buy in. Here, let's go here so I can have more screen. I got 90%. I buy. Oh, I guess it would be over here. 90%. 100%. I buy in. It dropped 10%. I sold. I keep 90%. I now have 190% to put in. It drops 10%. I sell. I now have $280 dollars, right? Or whatever it is, right? And so you keep doing that until it no longer takes out a 10% threshold. And then you're very close to making back the 10% that you lost on each one of the dips along the way, because it doesn't take that much of a move for that much money to recoup 10% losses all the way down. That's how I do my alts if I'm going to do alts. Right now, not doing alts at all. I am solely focused on Bitcoin and NVIDIA, and I'll show you why today. Who else we got in here? Mr. C, he said, hello, everyone. Appreciate you being here, Mr. C. And I think, CJ Taylor, my bro. Deb's in here. Appreciate you being here, Deb. And Provision U. Hey, guys, I'm new. Provision. Provishnu. Appreciate you being here. I'll get your name right. Hope I didn't jack that up too bad, but welcome, man. Chris Wrights is in the house with us also, and I think that's about it. Yep. Let's see. Anybody come in at the bottom? Anybody slide in at the bottom? Nope. Perfect. We got them all. Appreciate you guys all being here. If we have a significant lower high, sell for sure. Yeah. Those are those moments when everyone FOMOs in. If you guys aren't understand what he's saying there, he said, if we have a significant lower high, meaning it comes in, it bounces, everyone's pumping this thing. They're like, we're so back. And then you start to see it top out again on resistance, and all of the indicators say, hey, probably heading back down from here. That was your opportunity to gracefully bow out right there. So that's what he's saying there. But yeah,
also
OC.
Called dead cat bounce.
It's also known as a dead cat bounce. Exactly. And so everyone FOMOs in. It pulls a lot of people in. We're so back. Stupid content creators tell you we're so back. And then what Mike Play? What just happened to Mike Play stuff, man? Mike Play got completely set off here, deleted by Jesse Gellick. Jesse, did you absolutely? He did. He absolutely replaced. Nope, don't do that. Hey, Jesse, quit removing people's comments, man. If you guys are wondering what all of us said there, it was Jesse Gellick accidentally deleting Mike Plays mods, mod and Piper's. Here, I'll show you. There you go. That's what was taken off. Jesse's fat finger and stuff. Jesse, you're driving. Quit trying to type while you're driving, sir. I appreciate you. All right, OC. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see what you're seeing on there, because you got a little bit of a hopium. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. A lot, to
All
be
right.
honest.
Give me some hopium, bro.
Let's get it. All right, let's get started first on the 30 minutes. This is where we left out. All right, so recently, as you guys remember, I decided to move from the 4 hours a little bit more into the 30 minutes so we have more recent trades, or we can squeeze a little bit more out of the trading week. But let's follow up, right? Something important right here, and we talked about this, guys, remember. So we're coming back down in here, right? We have some fake out and then coming back up for create a double bottom or a higher low. Going back down to create a double bottom or a higher low, right? Right after we have a big drawdown, right? Something like this. This was not the exception. So basically coming back down in here, remember, we took this long. And then I was telling you, you know what, guys? I mean, despite this looks like there is a rising wedge, right? We could be looking for a, break out of that range. We did broke out, but then we have, there we go, losing the zero line right down in here, and we lose the trend line. Most importantly, remember, we lost that trend line. You might wonder, hey, where is that trend line coming from? Look at that trend line all the way back down there, back to infinity, where the sun did not existed. And well, then when we lose that, well, the momentum is up in here once again, lost the momentum, coming back down, and guess where? 106, right? Let me bring up my support and resistances. This was not a surprise, all right? I mean, surprise would actually be going to the upside, right? And then have then a big dead cat bounce. But at this point, remember, we have an empty zone in here, and we went back to the liquidity zone where we have our almost 100%, 98% liquidity up in here. And then also to support and resistance. So what is up next? At this point, I believe that for the 30 minutes, we're going to have a little bit more of a structure here, going to dynamic reactor. And look at that. We're almost halfway to reversal areas, right, on our oscillator, which means we might have a retracement soon, which I believe that it's going to be right at the resistance, because dynamic reactor is coming in strong. We have a trend line in here. We have another resistance. And if we start bringing up different stuff, let me bring up my order blocks really quickly. Oh, sorry about that. My first thing in the morning, it was a coffee. So no even breakfast. That's giving me hiccups. Sorry about that. All right. So, and look at that. We have another daily resistance right in here. So what's up with that double bottom? I think that double bottom is going to happen. Maybe a triple bottom. We still need to see. The truth of the matter is that we're bearish on the 30 minutes, and we need to, hey, first, plan for both cases scenario, and second, wait for your confirmation so you can take action. Remember, it's not reacting. It is acting upon the plan that you already have. So it's muscle memory, all right, based on the rejection or the approval of the price action on certain areas. All right, so easy peasy. If we break to the dynamic reactor, perfect. We're waiting for the retest. Off you go. You long in here. All right. If we reject, which I believe that's going to be plan A, we reject out of the dynamic reactor, perfect. You enter for a short right here on the rejection, right at losing that zero line. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let me go back to a cleaner charting here. Let's go to the weekly. Into the weekly, let me untangle this thing. Here it is. All right. Much better. And let's see, maybe I can go. There we go. So we were talking about this thing here, right? This is a very, very, very old chart, all right? Just in case you did not remember, we're talking about this liquidity, how to calculate the liquidity all the way down here. And we already have the same, calculation of liquidity. Look at the area, 84, all right? That's where our dynamic reactor might be, where we could be at. Now, if you take a look at this, I was talking about, hey, maybe we can come back down here, and as long as we don't lose the 82, 83, or 90s at the top of this range right here, right? 107, 103. All right, next targets. Well, then I think we can create another area right here, another drive. I think that this is still on the game, slightly different, right? But let me show you how. So first of all, let's go over this to double top and then look for the buy signal that we had in here. By the way, I want you guys to notice this is Binance Weekly. Last time we have a buy signal, it's been very, very profitable. Just in case you were wondering, 43, it's my configuration. All right, let me go to another cleaner chart. There it is. So we're very close to that buy signal. All right. And then if I bring up one of our old favorite tools, which is regression trend, and I grab it from the end to the start, here's the channel. All right. Let's compare it just so we are not lost. All right. So let me get rid of all of this spaghetti. All right, really quickly. There it is. And then let's do from the bottom, right? Or from the buy signal, doesn't matter, to the very end, whatever. That's the same, right, area. So how do we compare? Looking at those swing failure patterns right here, right? Perfect. Let's go to the cleaner chart. We have the same, a little bit tighter around the corners, but the same swing failure patterns. All right, this being a very nice range where you could, buy at the bottom of the range, sell at the top of the range. You buy, you sell. You buy, you sell. Guess what's going on up next? Guess what's going up next, all right? So this is my first hopium. Where is this resistance or this support is coming at, right? As I was mentioning, if we are coming down within this same candle, all right, that comes with, or within this same wick, that comes around 100K. And if we start ranging, that comes somewhere around 103, 104, all right? So target being 104 or 103. And then if you take a look at this trend line that we have also been following, all right, along with one that we haven't updated. I don't know why it's not updated here like this. Perfect. It's actually clicking here. And of course, save this. There we go. So, well, the actual bottom with a fake out could come at 95. Initially, guys, remember I was talking about 93, right? 90, come on, where's 93? Slightly below. But right now, as we're seeing a couple of stuff, well, we still have some strength, but we're looking for that flip of the ribbon. Something important, and it just happened this week, like today. Well, not today. Today at 4 hours, and this is part of the hopium. We are almost on all times volume down. All right, all times on this range. Okay. And not only that, well, right where we are at the bottom, what usually happens when we are at that area, we flat out for a little bit, right? We hit the support. There we go. We have a reversal, and then we start pumping the volume up. Same thing happened here. Same thing happened before. But the most important part that I am really excited about, it is my leading indicator. For this, let me just turn off the main oscillator shape really quickly. Remember, we're looking for that V-shaped recovery. And then let's bring up my, there we go, my leading indicator. So my leading indicator is the True 7. And what I'm looking for the True 7, it is the neon light or the neon line going around it, right? So basically bottoming at neon color. Look at that, right? Right now we are seeing the same thing here, and I'm just looking for the flat neon area, have the reversal, the peak seeker, and then ramping back up on that volume. And look at that, our money flow is not that bad as before, right? So I believe that, I'm not saying that whales are using chart prime. I think they do, but that's I think, right? But what I think they're doing is that they're seeing the same volume matrix, right? They're seeing the same indicators, the same kind of like indicators. Not talking about like it's not that they have oscillator prop plus, but they're seeing like money flow, they're seeing volume, they're seeing, well, the True 7, remember, there are 7 different indicators, so they're looking at one of those, right? They're looking for divergences, so on and so forth. So let's bring back the price up and let's see where can we be located at. Let me get rid of this spaghetti. Here it is, too early for that spaghetti. And remember, we are within the first area of resistance, I would say, like in here. So look at that. That's exactly where we bottomed down, maybe a double bottom or a triple bottom, and then we took off, right? What happened in here? Almost a little bit of the same, right? A little bit more aggressive, right? When we were coming back down, look at that first hit in here, right? Right before we had our leading indicator hitting. Then we bottomed down, or we bottom out right here at when we went neon, right? We flat out, we hit for that double bottom, and then we took off. So the question is, are we gonna hold? And that's what we were saying. Hey, you know what? Talking about where we pretty much like on the bear markets. Well, kind of like I'm also agree 60% yes and no, right? So 60-40. I would say that 40% we are and 60 we are not. So I still need to see the price action getting here and hold. If we lose this area, we go to 91, right? That is the doomsday area, and then we bounce and we reject out of here, like somewhere around here, back at 97. I would be calling out bear market. All right. But even if we hit this on the way up, I'm going to still say, hey, we still have some hopium, right? But remember, hopium doesn't mean push everything up in there. In fact, have seen the Piper plan today? Actually surprised me a little bit to see those numbers. I'm not going to tell you because that is an exclusive perk to our members. So if you're a member, go check that out. And Piper, have you done your DCA for this week? Let me know.
I have not, because I believe that we have a lower number coming in to buy. So, however,
Let's go.
comma, however, comma, OC, that shape on your chart there. Let's zoom that out for a second. What is that? What is that shape? What is that pattern?
Oh, it's the little pattern.
No, the whole thing, that whole regression trend, that would be a rising channel, correct?
Yeah, correct. Rising channel.
And how does that typically break?
Oh, to the downside, but we still need to wait for the actual breakout, because
I know we do. I know we do. The break and the retest. Right? But keep in mind, about 68 to 70% of the time, that breaks to the downside. When it breaks out of that range, usually we'll go to the downside, not the upside. So, but yeah. And then we'll return back to it sometime in like 3 to 4 years. Don't worry. We're going to talk about the news, guys. I got a lot of news to break down, and we're going to be doing a lot of why Bitcoin, why NVIDIA today. So, shout out to Crypto Billy. Shout out to the OGs. I saw them drop in here. Trade Intuition, the Otter Gang. Got the OG shirt on. Honoring the Otter Gang every Monday. Let's go jump in and take a look at the news, OC, and get this all breaking down, and we'll come right back to you. So hang out. All right, guys, looking at the metrics of Into the Cryptoverse today, and we're going to be talking about this chart and where I think Bitcoin hits in the next cycle on this one chart right here. You guys are going to love that. So currently right now, the total crypto market cap sitting at $3.596 trillion. The current trend on this sitting at about 4.603, meaning this is your median average, your mean average of all of the crypto market cap. But I do want to show you guys before we move on off of this. Every cycle, we have seen crazy volatility take us up to the upper logarithmic trend line, right? We didn't quite get there. We were about halfway there, living on a prayer back here in 2021. Shout out to Alexander G. I know you're already typing that one. And then we did have a couple of breaks here where, and if you guys look, March 2024, the first time Piper sold this cycle, right? I've got a little area there and I have no ticker. Let me fix that. The second time it broke it. Look, January 2025, the second time Piper sold this cycle. Guys, I show you this for a reason. And I tell you guys I'm taking my profits. There's a lot of things going on. Looking back at this now, this was a great indicator saying, hey, look, if we don't hold this, you might want to take some profits. We have not been able to get above this here this entire rest of the cycle. And I'll bring this in and show you what's happened every time. And I've showed you guys this before, but every time we touched it, it's been our line. But I still think that this is probably the most important data point in Bitcoin, in my opinion. And it's because this is your fair value of Bitcoin. You guys see what's happening here as time goes on? We're getting more of a stable price action. I do think that Bitcoin, don't take this and run to the bank with it. I got more to talk about this. This is becoming more and more the average fair value of stable price of Bitcoin. Okay, this is the fair range of price, the fair price of Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking for. And we're going to look at this, what this looks like going forward in the future in 2029 here in a little while. I just wanted to show you guys that. It's part of my thesis now. Looking at the current risk levels, we're sitting at 48.6% risk band on Bitcoin right now. Looking at stable coins, 59.18. Without stable coins, we're sitting at 64.26. We are seeing dominance continue to rise, holding a little bit stable right now, about where we have been. But as soon as we break the 60% line, guys, I do believe we will be heading up, and that's without stables, just so you're tracking. The with stables, of course, 64, I think that's easily going to hit that 70% also. So what about over here? Wow, that is a totally blank screen. Let me refresh that for you. And we'll get that in here again. There we go. Thank you. This is your alt season index. We're currently right now sitting on the alt season index at 43.48, heading back down again. Guys, Bitcoin, this is based on Bitcoin dominance and returns on investment versus the top 50 tokens minus stablecoins. And so we are seeing there 427 finally got home. Good job, Jesse. Made it home and you haven't deleted any more chats. So I appreciate you, bro. I just love that guy. So we are watching here for us to come down to that 25% range. That would be Bitcoin season at that point. We're still not in Bitcoin season or alt season, just so you know. How about liquidations in the past 24 hours? The past 24 hours, 191,313 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $659.5 million. Largest single liquidation order was on HTX. It was a Bitcoin trade at $33.95 million in one single trade. Gone, liquidated. Who's got that much money to just, you know what? YOLO, roll the dice and let's see what happens. 34 million bucks. Looking at when the government will reopen. Well, guys, now it's saying December 29th. December 29th is when they predict it will open now, according to Polymarket. Let's go see what we got here. We got a 13% chance that it ends this week, 4th through the 7th. Okay, 13% chance. A 17% chance that it ends the 8th through the 11th. 17% chance that it's the 12th through the 15th. 54% chance that it takes place November 16 and beyond. Craziness. Craziness. I don't know. I just don't even know anymore. What world do we live in? Let's take a look here. OpenAI, and this is big news here, guys. OpenAI has now signed $500 billion in the Stargate deal, $100 billion NVIDIA deal, $100 billion AMD deal, $38 billion Amazon deal. That just happened this morning. We're going to talk about that. Signed a $25 billion deal with Intel, a $20 billion deal with TSMC. That is the small conductor company that Taiwan small conductor. Yeah, you guys know the word. Microconductor, that's it. Signed $13 billion deal with Microsoft, a $10 billion deal, or $10 billion deal, I mean, with Oracle, and a multi-billion dollar deal with Broadcom. Launched a browser to compete with Chrome, become the world's most valuable private company. By the way, that private browser is on Google. So that's a Google thing that they're working with, but it's a browser to compete with Chrome, which is so crazy. It's really just on Chrome. Become the world's most valuable private company, considered $1 trillion IPO when they launch sometime in 2027. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. Key events this week. What all we got going on this week? Well, ISM manufacturing PMI data came out today. Palantir earnings reports today. AMD's earnings reports tomorrow. ADP non-farm payroll data coming out on Wednesday. We'll see. And this is going to be your private sector, so we should get this data. MI consumer sentiment data on Friday, and then 20% of the S&P 500 companies will be reporting their earnings this week. We are currently on government shutdown, day 33. Thank you, Kabisi Letter, for that. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index currently sitting at 42. We're in neutral this morning. Michael Saylor, of course, bought some more Bitcoin. Why wouldn't he? Strategy has acquired 397 Bitcoin for $45.6 million at approximately $114,771 per Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, come join if you join the Piper Academy Discord, I'll give you free access. Matter of fact, just contact me. I'll send you the Piper plan every week. I promise I will outperform your purchases every single time. Quit buying stuff at $114,000 when the charts say, hey, we got lower to go. This guy. Huge Supreme Court to decide if Trump tariffs are legal happening on Wednesday. This is going to be a big volatility move in the markets, guys. If Trump wins, presidential power over trade expands. While a loss may force refunds of billions of dollars, and that will shake up the market. So be watching this on Wednesday. This is going to be a big deal. So, not going to lie, I'm tired. I'm fed up. I understand. Extra dump on top of the dump that occurred all day. XYZ, I feel you. I feel you. Breaking, the U.S. is allowing Microsoft to ship NVIDIA AI chips to use in the UAE for the first time. NVIDIA stocks rose 2% on that news. Very glad I bought that down at 180. We told you guys that here on the show and in this thing. I said I'm buying $5,000 of NVIDIA at 180. It's done quite well for me. Here's your earnings for the week, guys. All the earnings this week. We got Palantir today after the market closed. Cipher Mining was this morning. Uber, Shopify, Spotify, Hut 8, Energy Fuels, and BP Oil. Of course, I told you guys the energy sector is going to be a big one to watch with all of the power needed for these data centers, and these data centers are needed for AI. So it's all rolling together. I just got a notification. What is that notification in my ear? Let me go look. Oh, wow. Big dump on Bitcoin, guys. Big dump on Bitcoin happening right now. We are heading back. We're heading down to the 104, 101 range. It's what I told you a little while ago. I think we're heading down to the platinum pocket here. So that's what that alert was. It was giving me notification that we were passing a key level that I was watching. So we are starting to get here on the chart, guys. We are starting to get the oversold indicators, but I would wait. I think we can get more, and I do believe we're going to be heading down to 101 4 range. If we're going to hit down there, guys, very likely going to be looking at some other time frames, which I'll look at here in a second. I just wanted to bring that up. Let's get back in here and finish this up. Qualcomm, ARM, Robinhood, Ionic coming in this week. Wave, Oscar, Vistra Energy, Datadog. And I'll drop a copy of this right now. Actually, I'm going to copy this image. And I'm going to drop this in our Discord right now for anybody that wants this. So they can take a look at it this week. Members chat. There we go. At everyone and paste. And there you go. I just dropped that for all the members in the Discord. So you guys should have that now. This is all your earnings for the week, though, that we have going on. What else we got? Microsoft signed a $9.7 billion AI cloud deal with Iron for cloud capacity, and Cipher Mining signed a $5.5 billion 15-year AI data center lease with Amazon AWS. Guys, you're seeing all of this stuff that we've been talking about, how all of this is just feeding in this cycle of money, and we're seeing more and more of it. But these are Bitcoin mining companies. Shout out to Chris Cole. He does my yard, but he's also in our Discord. You guys see me talk about him. He's been huge in Iron for a while, so I wouldn't take your profits on Iron necessarily yet, Chris Cole, unless you're just way up and you want to secure, some of it for later on. But yeah, Iron got big things going on right now too. The wealth gap is broadening. Top 10% of U.S. households now hold 87% of all U.S. stocks owned by households, with the top 1% owning 50% of the entire stock market. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys. By comparison, the remaining 90% of households just holds 13%, while the bottom 50% only hold 1% of the stock market. On top of this, the top 10% control about 84.4% of all private businesses and 43.9% of all real estate. In total, the top 10% of households reflects about a 67.3% of the nation's entire wealth is held in the top 10% of households. So the wealth gap has never been bigger. Real estate, the private business, stocks, total wealth. You can see the breakdown there. All owned by the top 10% right now. Guys, at the end of the day, If you're not buying assets and you're sitting on cash, you're hurting yourself. That's why I want some exposure into something. And again, as the thumbnail suggested, NVIDIA and Bitcoin are my choices right now. Breaking news, this just happened an hour ago, and this was a massive surge for Amazon this morning. You can see this candle, the hourly candle here on Amazon, just absolutely moonshotted. Amazon stock surged over 6% after announcing a $38 billion deal with OpenAI. We're now receiving daily multi-billion dollar AI deals. And at the center of all that, OpenAI, man, I can not believe that they valued themselves at a $1 trillion company for a 2027 launch. Guys, I think they may be beyond that by the time that happens. So OpenAI got big things going on. And while, yes, I don't like that they can't tell me who the president is, if you guys saw that on the show, I will tell you that this is absolutely one of those things that I've got to be invested in. So when it happens, I'll be there, and you guys will know. Amazon and OpenAI agreed to a $38 billion deal to expand their compute capacity. OpenAI will immediately begin running workloads on AWS using hundreds of thousands of whose chips? NVIDIA's chips. So that's another reason to be an NVIDIA, in my opinion, right there. Where else we got here? We got that. We got that. We got what else? Bitcoin miner update. We got that. I think we got it all. Did we hit it all? Money market madness. No, we did not. Guys, you need to know about this too. I keep telling you guys that people are putting their money in the cash, right? They're going risk off in a lot of places, right? It's not all going to the stock market. It's really just going to the Mag 7. And I'll show you proof of that here in a minute. Money market madness. Since 2020, investors have poured $4.5 trillion in cash funds, such as money market funds, the most among major assets. Net inflows into these funds have tripled since 2023. Over that same period, equity funds have seen $2.7 trillion in inflows, doubling over the last 3 years. Meanwhile, bonds funds have attracted about $2.1 trillion, tripling since 2023. And gold funds have seen $100 billion in inflows amid a massive rally in gold. Safe haven assets are in high demand. A lot of people are protecting their wealth. That's what we bang the drum on here all day long with you guys. Bitcoin dumped by diamond hands. Absolutely. Told you that about this earlier. And I've argued this with everybody I can to the point that I'm just not going to argue with people anymore. Bitcoin dumped by diamond hands. Long-term holders sold $33 billion worth of Bitcoin last month. That's $1 billion in selling pressure every single day. No wonder October turned red. Guys, these are long-term holders. These are your diamond hands. These are the people that argue with Eric Wallen on X and say, no, diamond hands people they're buying your Bitcoin. No, they're dumping. They're dumping on you. Absolutely. Because they're protecting their wealth, just like we're seeing smart money do. So I think that was all of the bookmarks that I had to go over, that I wanted to go over today. AI stocks. No, I guess there was this. AI stocks, elephant in the room. AI stocks are outperforming consumer stocks by 20% over the last 60 days. And then the last piece that I wanted to show you is this right here. This is, you guys say it's the whole stock market. The stock market's up. No, it's money in the big sector, the Mag 7. Tons of consumer-facing stocks are in or near bear market territory, down 20% in 2025. Guys, Mag 7 and these investments that are coming in for Meta, for NVIDIA, for Amazon, for Tesla, the Mag 7, and then these linked companies that I showed you guys in that chart on a previous show, these are where all the money's flowing into. It's not in the stock market as a whole. 20% down in bear market territory. Matter of fact, if you look and see how many of the stocks in the stock market are sitting below their 200-day moving average, it's like 48%. Almost half of the market is in risk territory. So at the end of the day, you guys can take your news wherever you want to take your news from, but that's a lot of stuff that we just went over there, and I'm going to keep breaking it down for you. I hope you guys are, protecting your wealth. You don't have to sell everything, but protect your wealth and hold some dry powder, because a lot of the big money they're putting it in a money market, they're putting it in risk off stuff. So you're going to want powder when the dip of the dip of the dip of the dip of the dip that XYZ is tired of happens, because I do think that we have more of this coming. Looking at crypto bubbles here on the hourly, now turning red. Bitcoin down 3.6%, Ethereum down 6.1%, XRP down 5.6%, BNB down 8.2%, Solana's down 8.2%. Guys, these are brutal sell-offs. 10.8% downside on Chainlink. It's sitting at $15.39 right now. 10.2% down on SWE. We got 10.2% down on Litecoin right now. A lot of heavy sell-off in Hedera and Avalanche, down 9.4%. We're seeing people taking profits, and that's what that is. They're running for the hills. Looking at the Dow Jones right now, down about 0.66%. The S&P down 0.02, almost flat. Nasdaq up 0.44. Why is that? That's the movements that we're seeing right now from Amazon, from Nvidia, from Microsoft. All that news I just showed you, that's why the Nasdaq is up. It's the Mag 7. They're leading the way, pushed higher by Amazon and other AI leaders. I think this is the play for, okay, well, I don't want to sit on cash. What do I do, Piper? Maybe look at some of those plays that we've been talking about here for a while. So BC Port Corp said wells have been selling off at an unprecedented rate. People who have never sold are selling, not buying. Facts, BC. And you got people out there that are arguing that and saying that diamond hands don't sell. Not true. Not a true statement at all. Let's look at gold. Let's look at bonds first. 10-year treasury yield. Look, it's back to 4.1. We're cutting rates. Rates are going to go down on mortgages. No, they're not. It's at 4.1. We're going back up. Looking at gold right now, guys. Gold is making a little bit of a bounce, trying to hold $4,000, up 0.68%. Silver is down about 0.5% to $47.94. Copper is red. Platinum is red. Palladium is red. Metals are not the move right now. It's all AI. Returns history currently right now. Let's refresh this. I'm pretty sure this is down even more. Yeah, November is down 1.76. October ended this weekend, guys, down 3.69%. Now we're down in November also. And I wanted to show you, because we showed this here before, the last time we had in October that was red, we had a 36.5% downside in November following that. That is a big ouch. Big ouch. Economic calendar, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI data came in at 52.5. Previously said at 52. They thought it would be about 52.2. Came in slightly higher. What is that? Oh, I'm glad you asked, OC. PMI, the global PMI is the manufacturer PMI is compiled from the S&P Global from responses and questionnaires sent to purchasing managers. So it's talking about their, hey, how you doing on new orders? How you doing on output? How you doing on this, that, the other? Yeah, guys, came in higher than expected, but still under levels that we need to stay above. This was the strongest rise in new orders in 20 months, driven by improved market demand and success in securing new contracts. However, exports fell for the fourth straight month, and the sharpest pace since July, reflecting weaker sales to key trading partners. So, little mixed bag there, despite being a higher number that you guys need to be aware of. ISM manufacturing PMI, this was at 49.1, expected to be 49.5, slightly higher, came in slightly lower in the ISM. And this is also, again, back orders, new orders, all that stuff. So we got one that looked better, wasn't fully better. We got one that was a little bit weaker. We're still seeing weakness here in the markets. ISM manufacturing employment slightly up. That's a good sign to see. But it is also going into holiday season, and they need their extra production. So there is that. What else we got this week on this day? A lot of data not coming in. That's what we're going to get. JOLTS job openings aren't even going to be coming out this week. And it's actually expected, if it does, it's actually expected to be down. So JOLTS job openings, seeing weakening of the labor force there. What does that mean for the rate cuts going on? Looking at the rate cuts data, we're probably looking right now, 70% chance that we get a rate cut, almost 30% chance that we don't get a rate cut in December. Jerome Powell now giving a hint that, hey, we may not do that. We may not do that thing, guys. And then also shout out to Crypto Billy. You guys know he's in the housing sector, and he dropped this data for me this morning. He works in the builder industry. He dropped this data here for us, and I'll pull this up over here. There we go. This is the data from the National. This is the National Association of Home Builders, the NAHB. It's their national update chart book. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through all these slides with you. I'm just going to come over here, and I had Pam break it all down for us, just to summarize it. Basically, what we got is that the document outlines, how did it do? Let's see. This is the NHB. There we go. Summary of the NAHB report. This report shows that the U.S. housing market is in a period of tightening conditions driven by high mortgage rates, affordability pressures, and weak buyer confidence. Builder sentiment has declined again, indicating reduced optimism about current sales and future markets for home sales. What does this mean? What did I show you guys is happening with the 10-year yield? It's going up. And so we're still holding an average somewhere around a 7% mortgage rate. So the houses are, we got a problem here. Here's the problem that I got from this data. The homes are not getting bought because a lot of people, they're slowing down on buying, I should say, because a lot of people don't ask buys of mortgages. But at the end of the day, it's still slowing down. It's just the new homes are the ones that are being bought because of that offer. Guys, the high prices on homes is actually one of the things that's keeping inflation running right now. If you didn't know, the shelter inflation is. But at the end of the day, it's one of the things that because it hasn't collapsed, we're going to see that that's better. OC, how you doing, man? Is OC frozen? OC is frozen, I believe. Okay. Yep. Buffering, it says. All right. I think I'm back for you guys now. You guys should be good. Both.
I'm connected, but we're not back.
Yeah, you're connected. You're connected. I'm here, and I think we're live again right now, but the stream is glitching. I was breaking down the data and giving everybody the way out of the woods here. This Piper come back, the way out of the woods here. But yeah, Google decided to cut me. If you guys aren't sure, hit the like button and let Google know that this info is okay. You guys are okay with this. But yeah, I don't know how long you were frozen there, OC, but let's go ahead and go jump over onto the Bitcoin chart. Let's take a look at that. And I'll show you guys what I'm watching here on some of these levels. We're continuing the sell-off here on the 4-hour. OC, if you see anything happen, 30-minute AOL CD out. Yeah, you guys remember that when you used to get your internet from the AOL and you'd like, oh, another one, cool, out of a magazine so that you could get 30 minutes more of internet? Man, the days have changed. Yeah, we're continuing to sell off here in the 4-hour. Here's what I'm watching on this level here, guys. And I've been talking about this. It's the 618 here. On our top side, this is where we've historically seen our biggest fights in the, each cycle. I'm looking at weekly charts here. So we are coming in online right now to that 103,552. But I think that we have to watch the 52-week. If you guys are not new here, you know this. This is the level to watch. It's currently coming in right below that. We're getting ready to hit that bad boy. And that's going to be coming in right about 102.6. If we lose that, then we're in danger of Will Robinson territory, and it's not going to look good. I'll bring OC up here with me. Danger Will Robinson territory below that 52-week SMA. But I want to talk about this, OC. I want to talk about this because at the beginning, I started telling you guys, what do I think? Why am I investing in Bitcoin if I think it's going to go down, right? We said it going to dump. Yes, we did. Absolutely. Steve Hickey, you there? There you are. I hope you're doing well, Alexander said. I think 30 minutes. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Piper, come back. You can blame it all on me. If you guys were not in Vegas with us, you missed karaoke time with Army Piper. I love to sing. BC Port Corp member for 17 months. Member for 17 months. That's what he is. Also, Piper Academy and professor here. I remember when I couldn't play CSGO because mom had to talk to grandma on the phone for 3 hours. What is CSGO, BC? Let me know. All right, OC. Here's my theory, bro. Here's why I want to continue to buy Bitcoin on my weekly DCA. Because if you guys take a look at this chart, and I'm going to expand it out here. I want to bring this in. Let's talk about it. Let's say that, yes, we are not getting these parabolic run-ups to the upper trend logarithmic band anymore because we're getting more in line with our fair value. Okay. And you can see that that's been the case this whole cycle, right? Well, let's take it out to 2029 and just take a look. That would be a $14.1 trillion crypto market cap. From where we are currently, you're talking about a 4 trillion, right? We're in that 4 trillion range. That would be from here, even from this level, 4 trillion going to 14 trillion, about a 300% move in crypto market cap. That would mean that even right now, despite even if Bitcoin drops all the way down to its lower logarithmic support of 1.53 trillion in crypto market cap, which would be an even more substantial multiplier to the 14 trillion, that would mean that we're looking at least a 300% move. 300% move in the average price right now would put Bitcoin at about $400,000 plus dollars, okay, in 2029. So that's one reason. I'm all about something that's going to move up 300% over a 4-year period, okay? So that's why Bitcoin. Why not altcoins? Because they have the potential to go 99% down from now. Guys, remember, if you go, it's already down 90% right now. Why would I not buy it? If it went from 90% to 99% and you bought now at 90% down, that other 9% of the entire movement is still 90% down from where you just bought. You now have $10 of every $100 you invested. That's why I'll wait for bullish structure. Okay. I'll wait for that to happen, and then I'll look at all of the alts and swap over to them as I need to with my Bitcoin. But yeah, Bitcoin and NVIDIA, and I showed you all the stuff at the beginning of why NVIDIA, everything that's going on. They're the center of it all, and then OpenAI in 2027, obviously. So, but yeah, that's why Bitcoin and why NVIDIA. OC, your thoughts on this band that we're looking at here? You got any thoughts on where Bitcoin's sitting at in 2029, bro?
Yeah, I mean above 10,000. I'm just kidding, but the point is, I believe. Yeah, I know. Something important is that I think this is heading faster of what I thought. To that stable coin, right? To that stable coin, or to being kind of like a stable coin, better phrased, if that makes sense. I mean, at the end of it all, that's what Bitcoin was programmed with. If we take a look at any and all of the projections, it was flattening out of Bitcoin, right? In fact, remember, like last cycle, it was said, hey guys, this last cycle, the previous cycle, right? This is the last important quote unquote cycle that we might have, unless we have institutional money coming and disrupt the thing, right? I still think that we still need to factor that in. The question is when and how. Again, let me bring this back up. If we ignore market cap, or if we ignore institutional money coming in, I think we should be flatting out completely at this point. But if we have this last run up, maybe we can jump into the extended cycle, and that extended cycle will create a higher high and then define a new, let's just say, normalized channel. Just quick review here. Go check out gold. I don't have this up already, but go check out gold when the ETF was approved and follow from there, right? Let me prepare it for tomorrow. Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow's class, so I can bring it up. And you will see how after the quote unquote Bitcoin gold cycle of market cap influx, well, then we stepped up the game, right? And then we start moving into the big money, big players arena. I think the exact same thing is going to happen with Bitcoin, and it is a necessary evil to see these if we want to Bitcoin to be how it was programmed to be. Another important thing that I need to mention is that, hey guys, I don't know if we have talked about this before, but there is a battle on Bitcoin at this point between, hey, how, I mean, if you didn't know, Bitcoin right now, you can graffiti on Bitcoin, right? You have like 8 bits of graffiti space on Bitcoin. The next thing is, hey, should we be opening up the bandwidth to graffiti more? I would say no. Because, and what am I bringing this up? I'm going to get into that in a second. But I would say no. Why? Because you're putting more bloatware into Bitcoin. So it's going to be like a meme coin in Solana. So this is going to impact at the price of Bitcoin, whether if this next battle gets approved or doesn't get approved, right? Adding to, like the big market cap jump flowing in or flowing out. So there's many things out here. If we strictly get to the chart where we're saying, I would say, hey, buy below the SOPR1 or buy below the fair price of Bitcoin at that point, right? But that's basically what I got to talk about the chart that you mentioned.
Cool. Yeah, so Mickey said the cycle can change, it's not fixed. Absolutely. We've only had 3 cycles to base everything on, and that's not a pattern or a trend. What is fixed is the money printer. There's no escaping taxes and debt. That's true. However, I do think that you are going to see a shift in the years ahead on how the U.S. handles its monetary policy, how it handles its debt, and how it handles its continuation of reserve power, global reserve power, currency power. And I think that's going to have to do with stable coins, the Clarity Act, and Bitcoin at some point, and revaluation of gold. And I've talked about that in detail here on the show a lot. So that army is strong. XRP still holding back. Look again, Sol 168. That army is strong. They are. That's true. All right, OC, that's about all the time we got today, bro. Is there anything that you wanted to go over real fast? You got about 2 minutes. I don't know if you can do it in 2 minutes. Can you do it in 2 minutes?
Let's go. Let's try it out. All right, so just going over what we have on alerts. We have a lot of alerts, so hands off the keyboard at this point. Yes, we have touched some big areas of support. So like, for example, right down here on this trend line, coming back inside. So looking for SUI, next target 1.82 for, the base support, although we're having a lot of pump back up in this area. So I would say, hey, you know what? We could be getting a little bit of a patterning here playing out. Same with Jasmine, for example, having that big dump, getting into the area that we were expecting. Oh, if we just prolonged it, maybe we can get it. There we go. I think it will be much better here like this, so I don't modify it. Getting very close to the area that we were expecting or getting into an entry is very, very, very important, guys. Not the time to start buying and holding altcoins. It's time to, hey, get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out, all right? Bread, same thing. Everything is lower. I would not be getting into bread. We have banana. We were talking about banana. Banana had a very nice drop down in here, basically going to sub-zero levels. Remember, sub-zero is not the 0.00000. It is basically the area of big support, right? So that area of big support was 11.08, and we're dipping below it. So not doing anything with banana. ICP is one of the few that look mediumly good, but we still need to wait for a flip of the ribbon and bounce back up. So far, we have a dead cat bounce, and that is not looking good. The only thing to actually wait for, it is going to be a rejection in here, going for maybe a retest, and then trying to sell 50% out in here and wait if we have a rejection or a breakthrough continuation. And TAO, finally, we are below the dynamic reactor in 30 minutes, looking for more downside. We are just getting below here, despite we have a little reversal. Well, then the only area to, or the only way for me to look for longs would be breakout retest. So far, remember, we're still waiting for confirmation. Same thing goes for SEC. I was expecting on the higher time frames to have a little bit of a higher target, but we're hitting back on areas of possible entries. The entries will be right after we break out, retest, continue. So other than that, that's what I got on a couple of altcoins. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Appreciate everyone joining us here today. OC, I know you got to go. Your class is starting right now, so we'll go ahead and let you out of here. But guys, smash the like for OC and his input on some altcoins there. He's always awesome to have him here doing that for us. OC, you have a good one, bro.
Thank you, my friend. See you tomorrow.
Awesome, guys. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning. Don't forget to tune into OC Guy later on tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Trade Setups with OC Guy. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. breaking down the news, charts, markets, headlines, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit here at the Piper Academy. If you guys want to join us, click the join button below. If not, smash the like button at least. Share it with a friend. It's all support, and we appreciate everything you guys do for us here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, peace, love, profits. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Heading over to the Crypto Coin Mindset. Drop the graduation caps when you get there. See you guys on the other side. Let's go.
Stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out, 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 out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?